So right now, you're doing everything yourself. You try delegating. You're not sure who to find, what to expect of a hire, and business operations are more spontaneous than structured. And as a result, setting SOPs and processes feels like a challenge. And what we want to get towards here is that not only do you want to know who to hire and how to delegate, but most importantly, you have the systems to attract the right talent, onboard the right talent, and train the right talent to handle your operations in a more structured manner following SOPs, and therefore allow you to free up bandwidth for leadership and direction, which is pretty amazing as a goal. And that's exactly what we're going to deliver to you today. First things first, before I dive into the process breakdown and share all the amazing things we're going to do to define who to hire, clarify your role, and also show how you can map out SOPs in a less intimidating manner, what I want to also share with you, first of all, is how I approach recruitment. Okay, since this seems to be your biggest concern. When it comes to recruitment, what we do, so again, there's something that we do for our clients, but if you want to do it yourself, then you're more than welcome to take that upon your own plate as well. But let me share with you what this process will look like. So when it comes to recruitment, the first thing we need to do is understand what a hiring funnel looks like. So when it comes to anatomy of a hiring funnel, we have the following. We have number one, the job description. In order for us to create a comprehensive job description, we can't just say, hey, I'm looking for help. I'm drowning in my coaching business. I need marketing help. Please help. We can't do that. Otherwise, we'll attract all sorts of people who may or may not be a good fit. So when it comes to a job description, what we want to do here is to define the 5 R's. So the 5 R's include role title, role responsibility, role requirements, role results, aka KPIs, and last but not least, role compensation. So based off of these 5 R's, we are going to clarify this as we go along defining what we should delegate first and next in your business. And what we're going to then do is reorganize your outcomes as well as the SOPs and duties that needs to be achieved on a daily, weekly, monthly basis to achieve those outcomes. And then we're going to use that to define your 5 R's with this hire. Next, as we turn this job description into a job ad, what we're going to do next is build out a hiring funnel. Qualification is everything. So the way that we do this is that we want to, first of all, have a general qualifier. And this first round qualifier really comes back down to assessing their professionalism, their problem solving ability, their critical thinking ability, and we're going to ask for their resume, their portfolios, so that we can actually see whether they, from an experiential and value standpoint, fits in our business. So that's the general qualifier and what we're going to cover. And then next, we want to create a skill-based qualifier. After you figure out this person looks like they have the experience that they claimed on resume, and that this person appears to be a person that thinks and solves problem or approach situations in a way that is in alignment with what I'm looking for in my business, then what we want to do is to then bring them through a skill-based qualifier where we actually invite them to prove that what they claim they know how to do is actually what they can do. For example, if you're hiring a video editor, you want to give them an SOP alongside raw footage and tell them to follow the SOP alongside your brand guidelines to create a sample short. Based off that, you can tell whether this person can be trained up to do the job or is way off the mark when it comes to editing. Next, we will have a Loom interview where we can ask questions such as, what makes you interested in this role? Give me a 5-minute pitch as to why you think you are a distinguished candidate compared to all the other candidates that might be applying for this role, etc. what you simply want to do here is to send an email with a 5-minute Loom interview asking for that. We can then go through the live interview, which will then lead to the hiring decision. This is what we do because the way that approach hiring, for like we hire marketing assistants for our clients every single day, and what we like the hiring rates that we have right now is around like sub 1%. So in other words, we want to expand the number of applications we get as much as possible, so we can qualify them as hard as possible without feeling constricted as to who we choose, so that when we actually spend time on a live interview, we're already speaking to the cream of the crop candidates rather than just posting a job ad, having them go direct to the interview and just flood your calendar with interviews with candidates who may or may not be a good fit to begin with. So this doesn't only protect your time, but this also allows you to really get candidates who are hungry, qualified, and fits the role description, not only in terms of the requirements, but also in terms of their ability to communicate with you and align with your core values and company culture.
So the room interview 5 minutes, that's just like speak out the questions for them, and then they will reply with their room or maybe reply with their email, right?
Yes. So
and then you kind of filter to select from there to do the live interview.
Exactly. What I typically do to streamline things is include the Loom interview as the last question in a skill-based qualifier. So this is all done through automated forms. So you can use type form, you can use job form, whatever that is. You just want to build those qualifying questions within these qualifiers along your hiring funnel. And let's say the last question in the skill-based qualifier form is attach a Loom link that's 3 or 5 minutes long, explaining what differentiates you from other candidates who might be applying for this role. That way, I can just listen to that and pre-qualify those people and only invite them onto a live interview when they are deemed a qualified finalist. Hope this gives you a good overview of how we approach hiring and finding the right person.
Yes, this is amazing.
Well, things are about to get even more amazing. So let's dive into your process, because after analyzing your delegation matrix, let's go ahead and actually get people up to speed on this delegation matrix. So whenever we find ourselves becoming the bottleneck of our business and we're running out of time, what we want to do is to analyze what is happening in our business and what are we doing ourselves, and categorize them into four quadrants. The first will be the delegate quadrant, and this will be low value energy draining task. Next, it will be the replacement quadrant, which is high value energy draining. Third one, it will be the production quadrant, which is high value energy giving, which are the activities that you want to reallocate more time towards because it gives you energy and it also gives you a high return in your business. And last but not least, this will be the investment quadrant, where you just want to invest time into working on your business, which are all the projects and activities that are high value for later, but also gives you energy. So that said, let's look at that being said,
I think I got misunderstood. So, okay,
yep.
I think I put stuff in the wrong column.
Really? Okay, we can analyze this. Let me just pull up the tools just to make this super clear. These tasks are tasks that you want to delegate and reclaim time from. All right. And then tasks right here are the tasks that you want to reinvest more time and focus into, so that you can spend your time in the best way possible.
I think the right top column should be on the left too.
Let's see, film naming, content storage organization. Yeah, these tasks looks like a task.
That should be on the left. Yeah.
Okay, no worries. We can correct that. We can correct that. So what are the tasks that you actually... So this right here, yeah, these tasks, we're just going to move back into replacement quadrant. But for these tasks right here, Reels and YouTube script drafting, content research, post-recording editing, is this something that you want to do yourself, or is it something that you want to also outsource?
Well, I think it would be nice if I can outsource. Because after meeting Diego, I was like, oh wow, that's great. If this could outsource, it would be awesome.
Okay. So let me analyze this. Yeah, uploading and scheduling post. I will.
So this on the left for
Yeah,
sure.
this is definitely going to be on the left side. Film naming, content storage, organization, there's like admin level stuff. So yeah, let's put it on the left. Podcast upload, caption plus link updates. Again, on the left side, there's admin stuff. I would classify these as low value engineering, even not even high value, because this doesn't require, like, these are very manual, and this can be done by someone who just knows how to follow instructions rather than someone who actually has a skill. So these tasks can definitely be in a delegate quadrant. Calendar and meeting coordination, I'll put it here as well. Inbox triage, FAQ responses, school moderation right here. Okay, so Finn, let me just approach this question in what are the tasks that you want to actually double down on yourself? If you were to choose what you do in your business, what is the 20% of the needle mover work that you want to focus on by yourself?
I want to live my life and document it and show it to the community. Say this could be done like this way. You can live your life first, and then your business actually will follow you and grow.
Okay, gotcha.
I want to set that example and then live in it. What I really want to put time into is actually travel with my family. But like during the travel, I can just carve out maybe 2 days a week and then just do the content filming and align with the team. Most of the time, I could just stay with my family.
Got it,
And all
got
the
it.
things could be documented.
Okay, so you want to invest into producing documentary or documentary style content. And this is going to be for YouTube and Instagram both?
It's for YouTube. It's for
Okay.
YouTube, and also they will have like so much content materials
Mhm.
for even all the other short form, or even in the course, even in the background, all the visuals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, in this case, I would put these two tasks right here as well, because given that you're looking to double down on content production, then at least for now, content research and Reels or YouTube drafting, whilst you can your script drafting, while you can outsource part of this, I would say at least in a stage that I will still have you be the person who owns these tasks. But then they will be mainly around marketing. And for the other mundane tasks like email sequence setups, all the tech work, yeah, funnel page updates,
Left side
school,
work,
yeah.
that called the thing I really like to do. It could happen, but it become like seasonal. Like maybe the whole family will go abroad like 2 months, like
Yep.
that, or 1 month. It will become like a seasonal thing, but it cannot be always. You still have to put some effort, like sprint, and then set the thing. Okay, we can do the fun thing, like that. So now it's like that rhythm for me right now.
And this is exactly why we are diving into this unsexy topic of leverage, structure, and delegation. At the end of the day, we can absolutely build a lifestyle-based business that serves our life, that gives us the freedom to spend time with family without having to, let's say, worrying about the business not growing or catching on fire. But obviously, in order for us to do that, we have to reinvest time into systems and things that will allow us to buy back time. And I think right here, we do have a very good list, and I can't wait to share with you how to approach delegating these things on the left side. Before I do that, let me double check what you got in the investment quadrant right here. So systems building, absolutely you want to invest time into paving a more scalable foundation in your business. Team training, leadership culture, absolutely long-term content assets, YouTube series, book, partnership collaboration, community expansion, offer creation, new curriculum, design, IP creation. Yeah, absolutely. Let's approach how we're going to delegate everything on the left side in the replacement and delegate quadrants. Then we can talk about what we can do to allow you to invest more focus and more time into everything, let's say in production and investment quadrants. To do this, you need to first download what is on your mind onto a whiteboard like this. Because ultimately, here is what you don't want to do when it comes to delegation. What you don't want to do is to hire someone and then throw them a bunch of SOPs and hope that they do the job. I see a lot of people doing that. They come to me and they're like, hey, Michael, I spent like hundreds of hours documenting SOPs as books told me to do, and things are not working out. Well, the missing key here is this. Number one, you have to give them a why. And number two, you have to give them the what in terms of delegation. So delegation is ultimately a transference of clarity. And I'm going to explain this in a more detailed manner. Delegation equals a transference of clarity. I don't care whether you're working with an AI, a VA, or someone who has a six-figure salary. They can't read minds. So SOPs communicates the how. That's it. But before that, you need to communicate the why, the what, and the how. So the how is communicated through SOPs. The what is communicated through process maps, which is something that we're going to cover in just a second. And the why is something that is covered in your company vision, mission, and value statement, which obviously can be reflected upon your offer as well. Whatever you do, don't start here. Start here and work your way down. Otherwise, you will just be in the weeds and you will get someone who might be an A player, but will still end up following through the motions and have no idea how to improve upon their own performance independently, because they're so zoomed in on the day-to-day task, and it's like you just giving them a GPS and there's only the ground view. They can't even zoom out and wonder what is the direction that they're taking.
Where they're going.
Exactly. Yeah. So this brings me to the process map, and let's go ahead and quickly create an illustration of how your company turns strangers into clients and clients into success stories and advocates. Walk me through this. Right now, you have Instagram as your main platform for marketing and traffic, and then you do content which activates your ManyChat automation, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So do every single lead go through the free school platform as a given, or do some of them just, let's say, go to a chat and get booked directly onto your calendar?
No. They all go through free school, or they'll direct to YouTube long form, or they'll get lead magnets individually, but then always have a nurture sequence, like in a newsletter. Would
YouTube.
Introduce the book a call. Yeah.
So regardless of the quality of the leads or how qualified the leads are, they must get nurtured here before they can get into the paid school.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, awesome. So what is your conversion medium? Do every single person go through a one-on-one sales call?
Some of them will sign up directly after the free webinar, like a live workshop. Yeah.
And some of them will go through a sales call.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we have this right here as the main sales journey. Now, let's break this down into your acquisition process, because at the end of the day, the acquisition process is more or less consisting of these components in the high ticket space. So whether you're a coach, course creator, done for a service provider, or an agency, this is basically how you get clients. And what I'm going to do is to just gray out the parts that you don't have right now, because the last place you want to be is to scatter your focus across many different avenues. So it's mainly organic and there's a focus. And then next, they will connect with you. They will find you on Instagram. They will connect with you through IG and YouTube, and they will also opt in. to school, which captures their email.
Exactly.
They will go to these sources, they will go to receive freebies, all in school. And then you will also do live webinars. And there's also going to be an email newsletter, which is amazing. And obviously they will still see your content. So this is basically what your audience journey will look like in a nutshell. The reason why we want to map this out is because you have to understand that if you were to hire anybody to do any of this for you, they will not, unless we give them this, know why you're doing what you're doing. But if you illustrate this to them and have them understand that this is what you will, there's a pathway that you're going to take to bring people from complete strangers into paid clients, then what you can do is to actually apply context to every single SOP that you build within this journey. Because let's say you tell somebody to manage your freebies and organize them onto your free school group, or have the freebies promote your next live webinar or include a link to your sales call. If they don't know this is your sales process, they will be like, okay, I'm going to put a webinar link here, I'm going to put the calendar link here, but I have no idea why I'm doing this. And that is when you go into becoming a micromanager, because without context, they will only follow instructions. If those instructions don't make sense, or if you miss something in your communication, they will not be able to read between the lines. Let's apply critical thinking around their actions. You can see that this lead we got yesterday went from your Instagram to your school platform through email, school, and Instagram. You're creating what I call an ecosystem play. There are multiple directions that people can go through, not just one funnel, but an ecosystem where people bounce between different assets for omnipresence, from Instagram to YouTube to newsletter to school. Great. I now know that Vince's journey isn't linear. It is not a funnel. It is a flywheel. It's an ecosystem. Now I can see how I should allow some flexibility around the call to actions that I make in Vince's content, or understand what call to actions to rotate when I script out Vince's newsletters. Some of them can point towards a freebie, some can point towards a webinar, some can point towards the newest YouTube video. We're diversifying our call to actions. Just by me saying this out loud, pretending to be your marketing manager or marketing assistant, I can only do that after we have mapped this out. All right?
Yeah. This is so much clearer,
Yeah. Because if you, like, vice versa, if we were to invert this, if we just tell them, hey, help me manage my newsletter, or hey, this is an SOP on how to upload freebies on the school, you'll just be giving puzzle pieces. And I'm like, okay, so there's school, there's newsletter, there's webinar, but I have no idea how these things fit together. But with a process map, they will know. So next, let's go into your fulfillment system, because I do see quite a few tasks marked in the fulfillment category in your delegation matrix. Let's quickly walk through how you fulfill your clients. So I understand that you run a cohort or launch-based program, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So in this case, I'm just going to break it down into 3 phases: onboard, deliver, and ascend. So right now, when I pay, you don't have to go into the weeds, but give me a quick overview of how your cohort works and what happens during the delivery process.
Well, they come in and then they will have the initial call to understand the business, what they want to get out from this cohort, and then what's the bottleneck. So yeah, I'm working core. And then from there, we do 5 weeks. So this is like a 2 container right now. The cohort is the high ticket container, and then the mid ticket one, I'll explain later. But now we're talking about high ticket one. The high ticket one is like 5 weeks. So me and another coach with 2 people, we do 2 to 6 people at a time. and then go each one by one through their business. But we go as a framework. It's like, okay, first week we will dial in your niche down, because we know the money is in the micro niche, right? So, and then according to that niche, once we decide the niche, which is a profitable niche, we can craft the offer better, and then we can set up the funnel. So the funnel is week 3, and then week 4, then we start to plan out what's your content should be, like that.
Okay, so
that's like the 5-week sprint.
In between the weekly actions, is there any mechanism to ensure that the people do take action, or if they have questions, they can review their work to make sure that they're on track and comfortable before moving into the next week action?
Well, we have the pre-record course. So before they jump into that week's call, they have to finish that course and the homework.
Gotcha. So before the 5-week sprints, they would need to basically go through some, let's say, pre-sprint coursework.
Stuff and
okay.
Yeah, and then the homework. So for example, if you are a client and you basically come in and first week before the first week niche, the Zoom start, you kind of already go through the curriculum, and then you already go through those charts and homework. So you have a sense of what's my best profitable clients already. And
okay.
Jump in the call, kind of discuss with us, like what's the best next move? Is this really the best choice, like that?
Okay, got it. So let's communicate this way then. So there's an onboarding call. After onboarding call, they will go into the 5-week sprint. And within the 5-week sprint, this is the cycle. Every single week, there's going to be curriculum that they're going to go through, followed by a call. They will take action under your guidance. This will repeat for 5 cycles, once per week, leading to the graduation. Got it. So this is clear. And I love how you have structured your cohort basis at 5 weeks, which is, again, a massively leveraged fulfillment system. And now, as they arrive at the end of the 5 weeks, do you have any ascension mechanism in place to help them solve the next problem or sell them into a backend program?
Well, this is the high ticket, so there's nothing so far. There's nothing ascend to yet.
Okay, gotcha.
So after the 5 weeks, we basically normally in the 5 weeks there's already wins coming out, and we will do like the last week, because finish it like 4 week, right? So the last week we kind of do ask them how they get out from this program. So it's more like a testimonial collecting.
Gotcha.
And we kind of collect what they think about this program and what they benefit from it.
That makes sense.
So outsiders would have the idea of what we're doing, like that.
Got it. So I'm just going to put here.
I'm just amazed about how you can put everything like in like the
Canva whiteboard
layout and then the framework. This is amazing.
Let's just say I am pretty OCD when it comes to structuring business, which does help with what I do. So that's great. What I see as a massive opportunity for you to reinvest time into after we have streamlined your current acquisition and fulfillment process is to really get a back end in. And another thing that I can also just brainstorm with you on is that as you double down on YouTube, how it can really be a powerhouse for a business when it comes to acquisition. Because right now it seems like there's a lot going on they're currently doing that's keeping you from right here reinvesting time into producing YouTube and allowing YouTube to take off. Because your Instagram is pretty amazing. You're kind of famous. My neighbor knows who you are. But then YouTube is a part where we got to double down more.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
Great. So what we want to do here is break this all down and organize the task into a delegation roadmap. So we're going to break down everything that you got right here and really look at what can be delegated and who is the best person to delegate this to. Okay, so traffic, contents, Right here, let's see what we got for content. Let's have this side by side as a view. I don't want to have this be too small on the screen, but let's see if I can just move it a little bit up. And we can analyze this. Okay, so post recording, editing, subtitles, distribution, and scheduling. Right here when it comes to content. So the steps, let's break this down. We have research, production, editing, and distribution. You basically want to outsource most of that, which totally makes sense. In between that, there is file naming, storage, and Google organization. I'm just gonna map out the whole content process in a list here. Slide deck, visual design. Okay, quick clarification here. I see slide deck, visual design, and brand aesthetic. Slide deck, visual design as marketing. So is this something you present on Instagram or YouTube with slides, or is this more for your free school marketing?
More like for, because when I do free masterclass or free workshop, we need the slide deck. And sometimes when I do YouTube long form, I use the slide deck to let them understand what we're doing really fast, or the system really fast.
Okay, got it.
I myself spend a lot of time just putting those slides together.
Got it. So there's YouTube, school, webinar, email. I love how strong your nurturing process is. There's a sign. When I see a nurturing ecosystem like this, I already can see how hot your people are before they even buy from you, or when they decide to buy from you. So there is slide deck design, community management, brand aesthetic consistency.
Where do you put those things in? Like which column you put those in? YouTube webinar?
Yeah, I just lump it into nurture for now, just for simplicity. Okay, upload, caption, copy, link updates. Again, there's all here, distribution, and then yeah. So I'm just gonna say video editing, and then video captioning, distribution, and then yeah, distribution. I'm just gonna put linking into distribution just to organize this. Inbox, uploading and scheduling. Oh, you have a podcast as well. Okay. Tell me more about a podcast.
So far only one episode.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, I haven't decided yet, but I think it's easier if I can do the YouTube, and then the YouTube can directly be into the podcast. It will be great.
Okay. Got it.
But then the YouTube have to design like kind of different way now. If it has to go streamline, just directly go to the podcast, it kind of have to pre-script a little bit. But normally I don't script my YouTube.
Okay. Can you walk me through your content waterfalling process at the moment? As in, do you start with YouTube or do you start with Instagram?
I do both because my YouTube is not so consistent output. If I have a YouTube output, I would just support that. Normally, if I have a YouTube output, I probably have some marketing things going on, like have a sales cycle or something. So the YouTube would break down chop into short form and put into Instagram, and also would distribute into like threads, emails, and I'll put it in a broadcast to talk about this thing and direct people to watch the YouTube. The email list would direct them, use the same topic and direct them to watch that YouTube. And then YouTube will squeeze them to kind of sign up the webinar or free masterclass, the wait list, the form for the live to go on.
Yes. That makes sense. For Instagram, I see you having lots of high quality reels on Instagram. Do you repurpose the Instagram reels in any ways? Like YouTube Shorts, do you do any of that?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool. We're going to revisit this, but I would say we got content pretty much listed out here. And then next, we will go back to nurture. So nurture here, I'm just going to put YouTube here just because it kind of qualifies as the traffic part of your funnel. And for school, webinar, and email, we have email automations. Landing page funnel. Select the design, community management. I'm going to ignore finance and admin for now because I just want to focus on helping you outsource marketing and sales stuff. DM,
Okay.
inbox DMs, triage FAQ responses. This is a big one. So right now, do you use ManyChat?
Yeah, I use ManyChat.
Okay.
And I also have my chief of staff, my sister, helping me reply the DM because ManyChat cannot handle everything. Some of them have required like real people to respond.
Okay, got it. Landing page funnel.
Yeah, and also the school DMs as well.
Okay, great. All right. I'm just going to quickly.
What is the NGNT mean?
Oh, management. Yeah, it's just a short way to spell it. Brand aesthetics, consistencies. Okay. So I'm not going to touch fulfillment and ops/admin and finances for now because I believe we can already scope out a process and hiring and a hiring funnel for everything that we have here for acquisition. So now let's recap this. After we have mapped out your process map and reorganized your delegation matrix,
Yes.
this is what we have. For content, research, production, filming, video editing, video captioning, distribution, repurposing. This is everything we have going on with content. And then for capture, which is to convert your borrowed audience into owned audience, you have landing page funnel and manage automation to capture them on school and capture them onto email. And then for school, webinar, and email nurturing, you have email automations. You need to nurture them through email automations. You have designs for the webinars and resources. You have community management. And then within that, you have school DMs, IG DMs, and basically prospecting to a call. Okay, great. And then this can either lead to sales calls, which you do yourself at the moment, and you also have someone to manage or moderate the webinars as you host them live.
Oh, you mean when I'm live, there should be someone?
Is there anyone managing your webinar launches at the moment, as in like the pre-webinar emails, post-webinar emails, webinar follow-ups?
I write those things myself.
Okay.
On automation.
Okay, got it. So you can absolutely just have, I'm just going to put this as webinar automation management and moderation. You definitely want someone to be there with you when you're doing webinar launches because otherwise it will just be too reactive. As if people ask for a checkout link, if something happens to certain attendees, you just want somebody to be there moderating the event alongside you. Okay. So looking at the list here, what I can already see is that we can define your role. Here's how I would take everything right here and a job description. Going back to here, here's what I would do. The role title at the beginning, given the size of your business, we can break this role down into multiple roles in the future. But for now, I will classify this role type person as marketing and acquisition. Anything that is outside of content editing, this person can handle for you. So content production or brand asset management, content distribution, content repurposing, prospecting, and CRM management. This is how I'm just going to say content management right here. Prospecting, CRM management, and community management. The reason why I list out these role responsibilities is because it is within a scope of a marketing assistant. As in, this person, you want this person to be someone who has the skill set of a social media manager, but also has the skill set of someone who doesn't just manage content. This person can manage prospecting as well as community management. So the role requirements of this person is that they must have experience as a social media manager. They must be sophisticated in managing school, Instagram, and YouTube platforms. They must know ConvertKit or CRM or automation background. And they are good at prospecting or has experience doing so. So as I qualify this person, I will qualify the following. Hey, do you have experience managing content across Instagram or YouTube? Do you have experience managing communities, either on Instagram DMs or on platforms like School? Number 3, do you have sophistication or experience around tech automations, namely email automations, email sequences, and preferably on ConvertKit? And KPIs, the way that I would define this would be KPIs along action and outcomes. So I'm just going to list some out here, but you can brainstorm this depending on what key metrics you have in your business. Content calendar, adherence, and we want this to be 100%. No posts are being skipped. You can look at response time. Let's say within the shift, if we get any replies that they need to take over, it's going to be within 15 minutes. You can look at automation, what I typically say is automation strength. That's just my way of communicating to my MAAs. That's just the terminology that I use. But you can say automation adherence or automation accuracy, for example. These will be some action-based KPIs that you have. And for any, and you can also put out any outcome-based KPIs. And they can be, let's say, conversation to call conversion, email open rates, or email response rates. So you can also have outcome-based KPIs. The role compensation is something we'll probably have to discuss on the back end, because we need to look at your market, the talent pool in your country to see who makes sense, especially when you're looking at somebody who also speaks traditional Chinese. But this is a very common role we hire for our clients in the English market, because we literally have a job description around marketing and acquisition assistance. And I can definitely put this, like I can share the job description to you, and for the audiences who are listening to this, you can also check the video description, and I will put the job description of this M&A role in the video notes as well. Okay. This is what you want to do: create a job description around these 5 R's. You can qualify them accordingly. For example, you might want to have them submit the free Instagram channels that they've managed before. And for a skill-based qualifier, give them a scenario where you're tasked to create an automation upon school join to ConvertKit capture to email sequence nurture. How would you approach setting up this automation and making sure that automation accuracy is maintained? You can just ask that either on an interview or in the qualifier form itself and see how they answer that. Okay. Yes, exactly. So this is what, so again, without having this session overrun too long, after you have gone through the hiring process and got yourself a hire, this is the next step. What I want to do is to then create what I call a workflow checklist. And this is a game changer. So let's say you have hired a marketing and acquisition assistant. What happens next is that you want to then list out their main role responsibilities into a checklist. So what are their role responsibilities? Going back to our previous page here, you have content production. You have content distribution. You have content repurposing. And then you have CRM/automation maintenance. Tracking, I will absolutely put it within the ongoing responsibilities list. And on top of that, you have prospecting/community management. So now that we have this in place, what we want to do is to build out the workflow checklist, which acts as a single point of truth as to what needs to be done, when, and how. So for example, content production, what do we need right here? We have research, production, filming, editing, captioning, and distribution. So I'm going to copy this into here. Content production. So you can then get more specific around this. Let's say research, topics and hooks for IG and YouTube for the month. Number 2, for production, since this is you and your editor, I will just say collect raw footages and reorganize into files. And then right here, you can say send editing notes and footages to editor. Receive edited footage and ask Finn for review. Approve footage and schedule to content calendar. So we just want to list out everything that you want your person to do on an ongoing basis. Next, we have content repurposing. So right here, what do we repurpose? Instagram to YouTube to Instagram. YouTube to threads, email to YouTube, Instagram to TikTok. Pull free Instagram reel highlights from latest YouTube video. And right here you can say create email newsletter draft promoting latest YouTube video, for example. Okay. And
This is amazing.
so again, like this really comes down to structuring your way of communication. Right here, again, email automations and landing pages / and anything that's going to do with MarTech. We want to group them up as well. CRM and automation maintenance. You can put it here. You can say set up landing page funnels or set up funnel for upcoming webinar. And you can say set up ManyChat automation for this week's call to action post. And
so there's like
yeah.
this, sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
Like the thing want this person to do, like so I myself have to kind of document my process and then attach a Loom video.
We're about to get there. Yes, I'm going to give you an example of what a working process will look like. Yep. We're thinking on the same lines here. So this is amazing. So let's see. The last last bit here will be just to regularly, like routinely screen, funnel, and email automations, and troubleshoot errors. That is what I would do. And then prospecting, again, this easy manage school community post daily. Continue Instagram DMs through ManyChat or ask Finn to review. Continue school DMs or ask Finn to review. So I'm not going to go to tracking for now. As you go ahead and do this, here's what you want to do. You want to allow this workflow checklist to be a single point of truth that clearly communicates what needs to be done.
Yes.
What frequency must it be done at? And have the VA track what is being done. So I'm going to give you, so obviously there's something we cannot do on this call. Let me give you an example of my own workflow checklist. From here, you'll get a clear understanding of. So this is my workflow checklist with my marketing assistants, and every single task right here is documented with an SOP. If I hover over each task, there is an SOP attached. If it's a tracking and reporting task, I would have trackers hyperlinked onto it. And my marketing assistant, what he does is that every single day, he will go log in and look at the workflow checklist. Okay.
Okay.
And I think he mixed up the dates for this week. This should be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He doesn't work Sundays. My point is, he will go through, let's say today's Thursday. He will go through this list every single day and say, okay, today there's my list of to-dos. I need to republish Instagram Reels to TikTok and YouTube Shorts. If I've done it, I will check it. And then I need to reach out to new Instagram followers. And this is the SOP for that. And then if he's done, he will check it every single day. What I do is that I just go into the workflow checklist and take 5 seconds, check if he has done everything. I don't have to worry about whether the things are done correctly. The SOPs are already built over here. So whenever he needs to remind himself of how to do certain actions, he just looks at how to reply to certain conversations. I do have an SOP on how to build SOPs. So what I do is that I never write my own SOPs. I will record myself doing the thing, and then I will either invite my marketing assistant onto a Zoom call where that marketing assistant watches me doing something they will do eventually. Or I would open Loom, record myself doing it, and then have the marketing assistants be in charge of turning my Loom video into an SOP using this either with the help of AI or manually using this SOP. Turn video demonstration into a detailed step-by-step written instruction. Save SOP document into the SOP folder, link to complete SOP folder. Hyperlink SOP onto workflow checklist, which is what you have seen just now. All of the SOPs are hyperlinked on the workflow checklist. Notify the client, in this case myself, the SOP is ready for review. Once SOP is reviewed and marked ready to deploy, start executing SOP. Every single SOP here is built in the same process. I gave the Loom video to my VA. So every single SOP begins with owner to provide Loom video. And then the VA will say SOP in progress. After the SOP draft is linked here, the VA will say owner to review SOP. After I reviewed SOP and understood that the VA has understood the instruction and documented the step into an SOP, I will say, okay, SOP is complete. I will mark the task as ready to deploy. Once this box is checked, they will start doing the thing. Wow. So that's what we're going to do. You just have to go through this list step by step. The next time you do research, you record yourself doing it. If you use prompts, give your assistant the prompts and have the assistant take the Loom video, take the prompt and turn it into an SOP, hyperlink it, owner to review. And you review it, check the box, ready to deploy, check the box here. And then afterwards, if you want this to be done every single Friday, then you want to put a checkbox right here, Friday, and check it. If you want this to be done every single Monday instead, then put a checkbox here and check it.
So once it's checked, you don't have to do it again?
No, once it is checked, that means they've done it. And you want to duplicate the sheet.
This list will just get longer and longer.
As you can see here, every single, like this is this week, this is last week, this is a week before, and so forth. Yeah? So every single week is going to be a new sheet. So I have the records. Yeah?
So you are the person who prepared the sheet for them?
I will prepare the sheet once, but the VA is the person who renews the sheets every single week. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Wow, so cool.
Yeah.
And about the earlier you mentioned, like, so now finally get the MAA, this role, this job. Now I know this is a person I'm supposed to recruit, but how do I know, like, what's the salary is good for the person, and like, because I don't know in the marketplace how much is fair and all that.
Yeah.
Like, how do you know this?
So this really comes from research. For me, at least with the roles that I hire for our clients, it is anywhere between 1K to 3K per month, but that's for the English-speaking market. So for yourself, you want to go to job sites and look at job posts and see what is the market rate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can go on LinkedIn and search marketing assistants and see and look at all the job posts on LinkedIn that is searching for a marketing assistant. And then once you got that record, you can say, okay, I see that these positions for full time is anywhere between, I don't know, like let's say 2K Taiwanese dollars per month to 3K Taiwanese dollars per month that you can test out 2,000 to 2,500 at your job post and look at the response and look at the quality of people that you get. Yeah.
Wow. It's like suddenly have a realization like we're not building the funnel just for the clients, we're also building funnel for recruit people. And then it kind of like both in like,
Exactly, exactly. So you can you can imagine as if you are like doing a marketing campaign, but for but for a company internally. You've built a course, a 5-week course before, and this is the course for how to run your business. There's content,
yeah.
there is nurture, there's capture, there's nurture, there is convert, and after you listed out everything that needs to be done on each stage, you then turn this into a job description and a hiring funnel. And once the person is hired, you build out the workflow checklist with them. You coach your assistant on how to do these things with Loom videos with SOPs to a point where they can just do it all by themselves, just based off of what you have listed. As a result of delegating all this, you will be able to free up conservatively 10 to 20 hours per week, if not more. Yeah, because these tasks, knowing how big your following is, you have like over 100,000 followers or something. I can already imagine how much of a lift you will experience just by being able to outsource all of these.
Yeah. I think just never really step out to research on this part. Always like a research on the part how to acquisition, and then like this part, like the hiring the talent, this part becomes like very little knowledge about it.
That's
like
normal.
equal important.
That's pretty normal because at the beginning, everybody is just doing everything themselves. You are the chief everything officer, and when you're the chief everything officer, all you think about is, okay, how can I use my own effort to market and sell to my clients? But as you get clients and as your business scales to a certain point, you have to go from the doer mentality to the visionary or maker mentality. That is when you have to reinvest time into buying back time. That is exactly what I would recommend you to reinvest into, and we've already paved a roadmap for you today. So now it's just about creating the job description, the hiring funnel, and after you made a hire, this is all you gotta think about. You build curriculums all day long for your clients. Now you gotta build curriculum for your VA or for a marketing assistant.
Yeah.
And once there's a Loom video and a written SOP for all of these tasks, you will have a student who will work for you and help you free up a ton of time. So you can have, let's say, the first 2 week, like after onboarding, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks here, 2 weeks here, and by the end of the quarter, you would have doubled your time capacity because you've outsourced 50% of your workload.
Thank you, Michael. I was watching you because it's tough for me to put things in the right column and then to categorize. I think categorize is very amazing talent that you have, and then you can like explain and exchange them into, oh, that's what they should do. They lead, and then like the task just translate into like the task they should do. I was like, wow.
We're all experts in our own ways, and this is what I do for a living for hundreds and hundreds of coaches, consultants, agency owners. So yeah, that's just what I do, and that's just what you do. And I just got to make sure that you can do what you do more and you can do less of what can be outsourced.
Yeah, but I think the way now think about it, it's actually better to do what you do. It's already built. You don't have to build another curriculum to teach the student to do this because you already built this system. And then all you have to is reveal this system to the clients.
Yes, and also we help our clients who are in the English market to actually do all of this part for our clients.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is done for you for most cases.
I see.
Yeah.
Now you can release the done with you and the DIY.
Yeah, I can. Absolutely. I can just turn this into a curriculum.
Yeah, definitely. This is just amazing that you don't have to build twice. I'm so grateful, really. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Clear out the foggy cloud.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm able to help you alleviate yourself from being a bottleneck after you have been a bottleneck for years. So glad this helped. I'm just going to send this over to you. I'm just going to grab the link, put it onto your delegation roadmap. And if you need anything, just let me know.
Thank you, Michael.